Yes. Okay, so we're all set up. So I'm going to make you the host again. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
Thank you. Thank you, Abina. And I want to welcome everyone to Herbal Remedies and Holistic Healing for Stress Relief. I hope that you can hear me and see me clearly. So you can feel free to drop a message in the chat and let us know that you can hear me and see me clearly. Beaming in from New York City. Grateful, with a grateful heart. I want to thank, first of all, of course, the Most High for this opportunity to monitor the occasion, and especially for utilizing Abina for creating Bronx Holistic Healing. It is truly a phenomenal community. Your curation of the event is just phenomenal. So thank you, Abina.
You're welcome.
And Abina, did you know I was born in the Bronx?
Oh, no, thank you. I always like to know what everyone's Bronx connection is.
Yeah, I was born in the Bronx. So this is really a full circle moment to be with the Bronx Healing Collective. And, you know, I was born to Trinidadian parents.
Okay.
For a short time in my early years, I lived with my grandmother in Trinidad. But my matrilineal line is from, we trace it all the way back. Our matrilineal line is from the Mandinka people in the Gambia. So truly I embrace all of my roots that led me to this moment. And I'm a founder of EthniciTEA Herbals, and you can see my logo there. And you'll notice that there are two symbols within the logo, which clearly demonstrates my herbal philosophy. And herbal philosophy is that I believe that the creator, I'm sorry, I just want to mute someone's line. I'm hearing some feedback. Okay, great. So everyone's muted here on the Zoom. But yeah, you'll see two symbols within my logo for EthniciTEA Herbals. And my philosophy is so simple. Believing that the creator has given us all of our plants for food as medicine. And you will notice two Ndinka symbols that signal our intention to go back, or Sankofa, which you'll see is like the heart. And the Sankofa symbol prompts us to go back and reclaim our God-given omnipresent, omnipotent, unlimited power, knowing that the authoritative right of health and wellness is available to all of us. So, and you'll get the fuller picture of what I mean by going back to and reclaiming this as I talk a little bit more about herbal remedies and holistic healing for stress relief. I want to start with a short disclaimer though, and I want to say, just getting this out of the way, that EthniciTEA Herbals NYC and the information shared in this public presentation is grounded in traditional herbal medicine practices through the use of whole plant foods and ancient holistic approaches to support the health and overall well-being of you. And the information, services, and or products presented are not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any disease. So please consult your personal medical professional for any medical condition that you may have. So just to tell you a little bit about myself and who I am, many of you may be meeting me for the first time. and I want to introduce myself. So again, I'm a community herbalist. I um, have trained as a herbalist and a vitalist for 4 years at Original Herbal Remedies. I studied under Zola Kojo, my mentor, and I founded EthniciTEA Herbals many years ago. I am a certified holistic health coach. I completed my training at Duke Integrative Medicine. I'm a certified Kemetic womb yoga dance teacher, a master teacher. This year I will be teaching in the Sacred Woman cohort 2023, the Sacred Movement. So for those of you that are interested in Sacred Woman, you'll see me in that platform as well, teaching. I'm a certified Kemetic yoga skills method teacher. I completed certifications in Tai Chi, Transcendental Meditation, Brahma Kumaris, guide breathing. I have a master's in public administration. By day, I work in medical education. My undergraduate was in community development and African studies. And just a notable mention that I also transitioned to a plant-based living food lifestyle over 11 years ago. And to date, I have maintained and sustained that lifestyle and reversed my diagnosis of dis-ease. But that's a story for another day, because today we're going to talk about stress. And when we talk about stress, we want to first medically, you should know that the definition medically pertaining to the human body, and we're talking about the body's response to physical, mental, or emotional pressures that can have physiological ramifications on the body. So although stress is highly expressed with the nervous system disruption, you need to know that stress can affect all of the body systems: the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, the endocrine system, the sensory system, the immune and hematology system, the lymphatic system, the musculoskeletal system, the nervous system, of course, the reproductive system, the respiratory system, the integumentary or the skin system, and the urinary system. So all of these systems may be affected if you undergo stress. And stress is a normal part of life, but we want to get a complete picture of stress. And I want to introduce you to stress, and so you understand how it can emerge. It can emerge on an internal level, meaning that you can have thoughts, mindsets, and worldviews. And these are all associated with matters of the body and the spirit and the heart, okay? Stress can also emerge externally. So there can be a disconnection from your natural environment, and you may be unaware of the intimate relationship with one's health and wellness and the body functions to the natural world. Okay, so just as the seasons change, winter, spring, summer, fall, we also change as well. And we need to work with the seasons and the cycles. Okay, external factors can also include day-to-day tasks completed by choices, choices that you make, or things that you have to do that are not by choice. Dysfunctional relationships, racism experienced firsthand or witnessed by video, or even the television media overexposure. Okay, microaggressions that you may experience at work. And I want to say as well, the realization of the miseducation of the Negro can cause stress. Just knowing and coming into the awakening that that your legacy did not start at slavery, and unlearning a lot of things can cause stress. You can also have generational stress, and this could be brought on due to what I call a lack of awareness of one's ethnicity. And when we say ethnicity, we're talking about our language, our nationality, our cultural, social behaviors, our spiritual practices, our clear knowledge of our family lineage. Okay, the Ma'afa, which was coined by one of my professors, Dr. Marimba Ni, the great Ma'afa, the disaster, the Holocaust of the African people, traced down through our bloodlines that can lead to generational stress. And these are all things, this gives you a complete picture of prompts that will cause stress on the human body. I like to say that every life experience always has a larger vision that you must unfold for yourself. And that gives you some optimism that even though we may come across circumstances in life, that you must be open to seeing the larger vision, that what is it that you have to unfold. So we look at a holistic view of stress. And in order to embrace a holistic self-healing and to begin the self-healing process for stress and anxiety, we want to reduce the negative effects of stress. But we first want to awaken to the realization that most of our existence is on a non-physical level. And this is just the beginning, because our physical body is connected to the mind, and our physical body houses our spiritual body and our soul. You may have all heard the phrase, have we not heard it? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Well, what does that really mean? It means that we exist on so many different levels, and so much of that cannot be touched. So the concept of balance can be found dating back way back into ancient times, even as far back in Kemet in ancient Egypt. You can go all the way back and you can learn that the ancients believed that there were 3 planes of existence, and science has caught up to that now and has recognized the 3 planes of existence and even more, and how that makes up who we are in our human body. So when we feel things like stress, what we're talking about is our non-physical body that's showing up in a non-tangible way. So for example, when you see someone that's happy, how do you know that they're happy? How do you know that they're sad? You may look at someone and say, oh, that person looks so happy. That person looks really sad and stressed out. But what you're looking at that person is you're looking at that person's body, the body, their mannerisms, everything expressing the bigger side of who they are, okay? And it's expressing their mind, their mental state, and also their spiritual state. So I'm saying that when we are addressing stress and anxiety, our spiritual and emotional and our body is all wrapped up and connected, and our body is housing that. So our body is the vehicle to express our spirit and in this dimension, okay? You may have seen this. This is Freud's iceberg model. And the iceberg model that Sigmund Freud, created, that this is a staple for psychological, that a lot of psychologists look at this model, and now it's now latching on that humanity is now waking up to this, that you must recognize that only 5% of our conscious mind utilizes the mental processes that we're aware of, but 95% is our subconscious mind. All of our thoughts, all of the processes that we're unaware of, that we can bring into awareness at any time. So the unconscious mind is accessible, but it's sitting beneath the surface, okay? So we want to take a look and realize that we are more, what we're expressing in our conscious mind, there's so much more untapped that we have to tap into. And you know that the human body is equipped to handle stress in small doses. But when stress becomes long-term and it becomes chronic, it can have serious effects on the body. So if it's not addressed, it can lead to a multitude of physical and emotional symptoms, such as frustration, foggy brain, anxiety, inability to sleep, lack of motivation, even some, it can even be expressed as under or overworking, jealousy, poor listening, lack of patience, inability to forgive, lack of loss of appetite. It can even present itself as increased hostility as well, and it lives in that fear dimension. So cortisol is the primary stress hormone that when that is released by the adrenals, that increases the sugar in the bloodstream. And as a result, the brain's use of glucose, it needs that, but too much so can be harmful, and the body doesn't recognize whether or not they're in a crisis situation or if it's just a normal stressor. So this is something that you want to really pay attention to. Now, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Fannie Lou Hamer said that, okay? And this is something that we want to go back and look at, because you know she also fought that good fight, as they say in quotes. But the other side of that stress of the life experiences that she went through and encountered unwillingly, and have also negatively affected her health. So we can take a page out of that book. You know, yes, you want to fight the good fight, but you want to make sure that you are aware of where your emotions are. So you want to find balance daily, and you want to replace some old habits with new ones. And where there is imbalance, again, there is stress. So I examined this extensively on my own and in helping others in my role as a herbalist, in my role as a health coach, and in my role as a yogini. And if any of one of those issues are out of midst that we talked about earlier, the mind, the body, and or the spirit, we want to break it down in simpler terms to get to the root cause, but we also want to see what can we do. So you definitely want to replace old habits with new ones. And you want to lean into things that you can change. And you may even want to seek more help if you need help. Okay, whether that be from a professional or whether that be from your local community as well. You want to, as I say, mind your mind, replace and practice mindfulness every day, and even embrace meditation. It's a wonderful practice that helps settle the mind and helps to get you in tune with that universal, that life force, that God energy as well. So you want to embrace meditation. Develop a prayer life if you don't have one. It must be so. Getting connected with friends and community is also great medicine. I also want to encourage you to connect with the elements: air, fire, water, earth, and ether, the space, the infinite. Increase your physical activity if you can, daily. Not if you can, just do it. So many of us are working remotely now or may not be moving as much, so you want to do that. Breathing for balance. Breathe for balance. Do you know that shallow breathing is associated with upper chest respiratory breathing, and it's typically recognized by the body as a stress response. So you want to do more abdominal breathing, which helps control the nervous system, slow it down, and encourage the body to relax. And there's a lot of research on breath flow balance. I do a wonderful series called Breathe for Balance. It's offered the 1st through the 7th of every month, where we rise early in the morning and do a Breathe for Balance. And you can do that in the comfort of your home. So connect with me for more details on that. Registration will be open soon for that. You also want to incorporate more herbs into your self-care regimen as remedies, okay? So let's take a closer look at some of the ones that I want to talk about. And I want to say that our philosophy that I say a lot with EthniciTEA Herbals is that we recognize the supreme power of the Creator. That's Gina Me in my symbol there, and the healing plant remedies available to us on planet Earth. So we go back and we claim it. We claim health and wellness as our birthright. Okay, so we want to live and in that dimension and believe that. So we want to look at some adaptogenic herbs to support stress relief. And when we say adaptogenic herbs, we're talking about herbs that help reduce the effects of stress, whatever the source be, whether it be physical, whether it be emotional, whether it be environmental. All of these have a normalizing effect on the body. Basically, adaptogenic herbs, they adapt to what the body needs to do. And it helps you function better in stressful short-term situations. But they can also take a while to build up in the body, so you want to be consistent with some of these herbs, okay? So one that I want to bring your attention to that you may have heard of is ashwagandha. And it's a friend to both men and women as well. And it supports heart health. It helps in lowering blood sugar, fat. It helps with sharpening the memory. It helps with focus. It has a calming effect on the body. I personally, I like it, if I take it in the capsule form. You could try it in smoothies, but it has a very distinctive taste. So you just want to be aware of that, but it's definitely a calming herb. Rhodelia, oh, is such a friend. When we take a look at Rhodelia, oh, it has such a long history of combating mental fatigue. And mental fatigue can be debilitating, and it can ultimately sometimes lead to depression as well. So it's shown great results, especially in increasing the sensitivity of what we call neurotransmitters. And the neurotransmitters that are in the body and the brain, they help boost your mood. This is a South American root, and it can help lift you out of the depth of depression if someone is suffering from depression. I personally know it very well as an anti-fatigue. I embrace Rhodelia. If you're someone that has to sometimes go, like you're doing a lot and you have to push forward, Rhodelia is definitely your friend, and you want to embrace some of Rhodelia. It's wonderful in the tincture form. I personally like it in the tincture form, and it's wonderful to do it that way. A few other nervine herbs that I want to talk about to support stress relief. And when we say nervine herbs, we're talking about herbs that help support the nervous system, and they help fortify and strengthen the nervous system as well. So nervines also help relieve muscle tension as well. So if you're having like sciatica, any types of nerve pain, nervines will also help in that regard as well. Okay. If you're having sleepless nights, sometimes you worry a lot. You want to embrace some of these into your wellness regimen. So one of my friends is American skullcap, and it's not the same as Chinese skullcap though. So you want to get the American one, and it it literally means, the name Scultella means little dish, and it has you'll see these small little flowers, these that have like a helmet shape, and they have been used for many eons, more than beyond 200 years, as a relaxant for the body. It's a therapeutic, very therapeutic for anxiety. Um, it has been shown to have also anti-spasmodic properties. It helps with clear thinking as well. I love a cup of skullcap, and just like the name, think of it. It will help with your clear thinking, reducing nervous headaches without any side effects as well. Okay. Valerian root is a little, stronger. You may have heard of chamomile. Chamomile is a wonderful nervine as well. The valerian root contains the valerianic acid. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied with that one. And it has an active ingredient, and it has stronger sedative effects than chamomile. So it's something that you definitely would want to embrace if you are having trouble with relaxation and deep rest, which is totally something that is really important for the body. Because during rest, that's when the body goes into healing mode. Okay, go to cola. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's been around for and been recognized scientifically as well. It's been used over thousands of years. It's a wonderful tonic herb. Many believe that gotu kola, and it is associated with what we call the crown chakra, or the energy center at the top of the head. And it also is been known to help balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. You may have heard that the hemispheres of the brain are associated with more masculine. The left is associated with more masculine tendencies, and the right is more feminine. We all have both of those attributes in all of us, but you want to balance that out. Gotu kola is wonderful, meaning that if you want to awaken more intuition, you want to awaken more clarity, more visioning, this is a wonderful herb. And it helps, again, this is a wonderful herb that helps with neurotransmitter functioning, promoting mental alertness, and also memory. So if you're, what is that again? What is that? Definitely go to cola. It's not as well. Definitely the ginkgo as well is known for memory and is a superstar, but gotu kola in terms of stress and anxiety helps to bring about balance to the nervous system. Okay. Lemon balm, oh, I love lemon balm, and I would love it, I love to make it as a latte with lemon verbena as well. Extensive research has been done on lemon balm as a mood enhancer, as a mood balancer, as a herb that, even to smell it, it's just so, it's wonderful. It aids in anxiety. It helps with improved concentration. If someone is prone to overexcitability and extreme nervousness, is a jumpy person, this is a friend. And I love to combine lemon balm, which is part of the mint family as well, with lemon verbena, and also I like to combine it with lemongrass. I make a blend that I call mellow yellow. That is wonderful, and you can make that, steam that, and make a wonderful cashew latte with that. Ooh, talk about have a relaxed sleep and a relaxed mood. Lemon balm is there for you. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about motherwort. This is definitely an honorable mention. For matters of the heart, you got to come to the mother. And in this regard, I'm talking about motherwort. It's been known throughout many, many generations. It's wonderful for heart conditions, um, you know, fast heartbeat, regular heartbeats, even holes in the heart, even anxiety, and even for a broken heart as well. If you have a broken heart and if you're suffering from you want that healing on that level, motherwort is definitely to the rescue. So you want to try it. It definitely has a distinctive taste that it's acquired. So you definitely want to just try it. And for all of these herbs, I encourage you, just try with one, and you want to be consistent with it over a series of time. When I do the Breathe for Balance series, I encourage my fellow yogis, to select a tea of the month. So we meet the 1st and through the 7th of every month, and we sip on a tea, and we become intimate with that tea, and we see how the body feels with the tea. You may not drink it, you drink the tea and you say, oh, it don't work. I drank it, I don't feel nothing, I don't feel nothing. You want to work with it, get to know it, feel it, because the plants are communicating to you on that energetic, that subconscious level, okay? And that's how they communicate to you, and that's how they heal. They go in and they go on a deeper level to heal what's said and even what's not said. It goes in and knows exactly what to do. We have to mention, of course, St. John's wort, which is what I like to call the happy herb. It is soothing in so many ways. It not only does it, not only topically, because you can have it as an oil, like a topical oil, if you're suffering from like nerve injury as well, like any type of spasms. And even if you have spasms, the colon, you can rub that oil over that area as well. But as a tea, it has been widely studied throughout the ages, even before it was medically studied, to show great results in people that have a depressed state of anxiety or in a state of depression as well. So this can complement what they're doing. If they're doing therapeutic services with a therapist, St. John's wort is also a wonderful supplement to that. And it's just something always to have in your herbal home. There's certain things that you have to have on hand. I'm not saying you have to have all of these like me, but you have to have a few that already on the ready, so that when stressful situations come, and by the way, they will come. So when they come, you're reaching for something that can heal. Okay. Um, uh, Bacoba monaria is another herb that I want to mention as well. It's also known as Brahmi. It's an Ayurvedic herb. It's a wonderful rejuvenating herb as well that helps improve cognitive functions. And it's traditionally, Bacoba monaria is traditionally was used to help with memory. Wonderful for those that are, if you're studying for exams or you want to retain a lot of information. It helps improve cognitive function. It's wonderful. You can use it, and it also helps with reducing any inflammatory responses. So stress is also an inflammatory response. You need to recognize it as such. So you want to address it like that in terms of thinking of it holistically. So taking a holistic herbal approach, and there's many other more that I herbs, by the way, that I could mention, but these are the ones that I popped out for me. Definitely when I think of anti-inflammatory, I want to also say that you want to do anti-inflammatory herbs such as turmeric, you know, such as anti-inflammatory dieting as well, meaning that you're not ingesting herbs alone, but you're also supplementing it with a healthy diet. Okay. So when we cultivate and we think of a holistic herbal approach for stress relief that supports self-healing, we want to cultivate the ability to perceive the human body as intelligent, and we want to remember that it is always doing what is right. I can hear one of my great master teachers, Zola, always saying that, and I remember her teaching that, and that stuck with me, that when you have to recognize that the human body always does what is right. And that's the way you want to approach holistic herbalism. In other words, the body is providing you with a signal sometimes, but are you listening? So when there's so many different herbal superstars that you can think of, such as dandelion, there's burdock, there's passion fruit as well. I mentioned turmeric as well. How can I forget lavender? Did I forget lavender? I have to say lavender, just honorable mention, not only as a tea, but also as an oil, also to rub the body down. That's why you see so many lavender products as well. The soaps and the lotions, and it puts you into a different state. Okay, so on the whole, you want to think of living foods to live, okay? And you want to think of healthy foods that put you in a better position to reduce layers of stress. So the root causes of stress and anxiety, they really stem from nutritional deficiencies. And if you're still eating fast food and processed food, it will not help. It will not help. Okay. Diabetes can set in, poor adrenal function. You can even burn out the adrenals. High blood pressure, hyperthyroidism, high cholesterol, environmental factors, and yes, even some prescription drugs. Inflammatory effects.
Sis, I just want to make your audio seems to be, I don't know, kind of scratchy.
Oh, can you hear me now? I hope you were able to clearly.
It just seemed a little scratchy. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
Oh, okay. I hope everyone could hear me clearly. So yeah, so that this is I'm just wrapping up and saying that, and in a holistic approach to herbal remedies, you want to think of it as the human body always being intelligent, always doing what is right, always giving you signals. And the question is, are you listening? So my role as a community herbalist is to educate. And in my capacity as a holistic health coach, I support individuals and I teach about this in a gentle way so that it can support them on their self-care journey. So when I engage in self-care protocols with my clients on all aspects must be addressed that were mentioned. Okay. So with that, I want to say thank you, Madasi, thank you. Let's stay connected. You'll find me at EthniciTEA, Herbals, EthniciTEA Yoga. And I want to check in and see if there are any questions.
Yes, so we do have a comment here. Someone said they use gotu-kola, lemongrass with some other herbs, and that it's life-changing.
And it truly is. It truly is. It is, and those are, really, the lemon, that whole mint family, but those three combined together really you can feel an immediate response in terms of relaxation in the body. That is so wonderful. I encourage you to keep going and testing. So you're more advanced where you're doing some combining as well. But definitely, if this is your first time that you've ever tried adaptogenic or nervine tonics, you want to try one at a time, and you want to be consistent with it as well over a period of time.
So of the nervines and the adaptogens, does it matter what season or time of day that you take them?
Well, it depends. Like there's some herbs that have more an affinity for, like, so for example, like seasonal affective disorders, that some people may get more depressed in the winter, or the changing of the seasons. So definitely you want to do herbs that are more roots, the more rooted herbs, to lift you out. And definitely when the summertime comes, you want to do herbs that are more what we call sunshine herbs. There's some herbs that are, above ground. And then we use the roots, we use the barks, we use the berries. Okay. So definitely, but again, every herb has an affinity to a different body system, and every herb has a communication to the person that's using it as well. So it works, and it goes in, and it gives that unique person what they need.
And I know should have asked this earlier. Um, Fresh herbs, teas, dried, what's the best method for the various teas?
Oh, so I'm beaming in from New York City, and again, depending on where you live, may also you want to use what you have closest to your availability. Definitely herbs that are dried they have the same frequency as fresh herbs, because they are dried, and they have that same life force energy in them as fresh herbs. I encourage everyone, regardless of wherever you live, everyone should have a few herbs growing on their windowsill. You may not have a backyard, but you have a windowsill to grow some. For example, another great nervine, holy basil. Okay, that definitely you should have in your home. So everyone has, and not to confuse with the basil, the cooking basil, but the holy basil plant I'm talking about. So that's a wonderful thing that you can do to incorporate herbs, living herbs in your home. But must say, it may be very difficult for those of us that live in urban environments to get access to fresh herbs. There are herbal farms that you could possibly research, and they may mail you boxes depending on where you live regionally. I'm in New York, so there's farms in Connecticut that do box delivery, or New Jersey, you would have to go to those. But if you don't have the outdoor space, you want to be confident in that you are doing what's right. Now, definitely, there are certain types of herbs that depend on how they should be used. Like, you may want to use a tincture, as for example, for rhodiola, okay? And you definitely may want to use a tea for St. John's wort, but and that comes with experience, or talking to an experienced herbalist, or going to a reputable herbal shop that is knowledgeable in herbal wisdom to best advise you in the best way. And they may have people that just love tea, and they may have some that don't. So in that way, they can dehydrate it and have the herbs in a capsule form, still as powerful. Okay. So all of these ways, you can incorporate herbalism into your life internally as a food source.
And what is the best time of day to take the teas? Are there some that are best to take in the mornings, or Like if you're looking to like detox or something, or is it best to take them before bed? I mean, there's just so
Yeah,
much to know.
absolutely. Well, here we're talking for specifically talking of, we're honing in on stress. But yes, there are some herbs that are wonderful for the morning. I must say, I will be remiss without mentioning nettle. Nettle is one of, or stinging nettle, and then throughout the Caribbean and throughout warmer climates, even in Africa, you may know it as stinging nettle. It's a bush and it's a humble little weed, and it is so powerful. I must say that nettle was one of the herbs that saved my life when I was in a health crisis. And it's one of those herbs that you want to drink in because it has a high nutritional, high mineral value. It has so much chlorophyll in there. Okay, so many trace minerals in there. So herbs like that are on that higher frequency, like the higher chlorophyll herbs like nettle, and that's up at the top. Definitely, you want to do that in the morning. Okay, and you want to sip that throughout the day, but I recommend those more higher mineral source, those rich herbs to really take in the morning because that sets you up for the day. A herb like that replaces coffee. For those of you that are still drinking coffee, which is very extremely acidic, I know a lot of you love coffee, so forgive me if I'm stepping on any toes. But there's so many replacements to coffee because your body is lacking. It wants something and it wants nutrition. And just by drinking a cup of nettle tea, okay, or embracing some of those high mineral rich herbs, or even the sea vegetable, the sea family as well, that that will give you the ammunition to start the day. Definitely towards the evening, then there's more of the nervines, all the nervine family typically are great to take in the evening time. It helps slowing you down as well. But it's not necessarily so, because if it's a crisis, you want to do it anytime. And the adaptogenic herbs, you definitely want to take at any time because they adapt to the situation at hand. They will address whatever this body situation is going on and adapt and give the body what it needs. That's why they are in that adaptogenic class. So I hope I answered your question.
Oh, yes. I just always wonder like which ones are good to take at certain times, just going along with energy and times of the day, like which ones.
That definitely goes as well with consultation and really working one-to-one with the person, because it depends on the person's lifestyle. It depends on the person's habit. It also depends on what else is the person doing, and then giving them a recommendation of what they should be doing. But on your own, trying a herbal tea, there's nothing wrong with that, and being consistent with that in your home. Why not help yourself? Okay, so you definitely want to embrace herbalism as part of your lifestyle. Okay, for me.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for it.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry. What are some other methods of stress release besides the herbs that you work with?
Definitely. Okay, so definitely in terms of stress relief, and I think I talked about that. One of the quickest things that you can do for stress relief is utilization of the breath. And most of us are not breathing deep enough, and most of us don't even know how to breathe properly. Okay, but the breath can automatically help calm the nervous system and can help also regulate blood pressure as well. Okay, so you have to learn how to breathe. Okay, so I have a wonderful class, Breathe for Balance, that I offer every month. Okay, we meet right now 6 a.m. The first through the 7th of every month. And it gives you practical tools that you can carry with for the rest of your life, and it gives you that recharge. But The breath flow is definitely something that you want to work with. It's called Rule of 4 breathing, where you breathe in for a spaces of period in time and four quadrants. Okay. There's also different formats of breathing. There's alternate sided nostril breathing. There's deep abdominal breathing that has to be done. This helps as well open up the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. Meditation, I think I mentioned that earlier. That may be a question for somebody that maybe have joined later. That's wonderful. It's wonderful to try it. Okay. To sit in quiet and to listen. Okay. You know, prayer is an active process, but meditation, I like to say, is also the listening part. To stop and to listen. Okay. Definitely movement. So many of us have to be re-educated about how yoga is for everybody. Everybody. And yoga simply means union. It means union of the body, the mind, and the spirit. And that's why we love it so much. Because it will help with stress relief. Oh, but it's also will set you up for a practical tool that you will have for life. Okay. So try it. Okay. And if yoga seems like it's too, you're not ready for that, you have to move. Okay. So you have to get up and move, whether that be walking, whether that be chair yoga. Yeah, right. That's right. You can do it from your chair as well. Foods. So much of what we eat into our health.
I appear to be losing you. You appear frozen.
So much. So make face a plant-based lifestyle. So many may or may not. I don't know how much time I have, but I'll quickly share my story.
Oh, yeah, you have time. You have time.
Oh, okay. But I can quickly share my story, how I came into plant living as a lifestyle in terms of eating that way. And I'll never go back. But over 10 years ago, I was in a yoga class and I felt off balance. I felt like I could not get my balance. And it led me to go to the eye doctor because I thought it was something with my eyes because my eye was hurting me. The eye doctor immediately referred me to a specialist. Next thing I know, I had to go to a specialist, and they said, "Oh, it looks like you have inflammation of the optic nerve, which is we want to say this is a precursor to what may be MS or multiple sclerosis." Okay. And the type that they said that I had was very aggressive. They claimed that I had, well, not claimed, I first went to one opinion, and I work in healthcare on the medical education side, not in clinical care. So I had access to research. What is this all about? And back then I was eating, regular anything, not so much anything, but I was eating fish, chicken, beef, regular standard American diet. Okay. And I said, inflammation. Everything I read about inflammation can be tied back to what you put in your mouth as well. That is part of it. Okay. You can literally eat yourself into a sickness. Okay, unbeknownst to you. And you may not even be overweight, and it could lead to illness. So anyway, I went to the appointment, and then he said I had to get home nurse treatment. I would have to make preparations. I would be in a wheelchair. I may not be able to drive. I may not be able to walk. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get a second opinion. And at that time, so many years ago, over 10 years ago, I was in herbal school. And I knew there was another way. I knew there had to be another way. And showed up. and I drank nettle. I cut everything. Talk about cold turkey. No turkey, no fish. Then I cut the beef. Then I cut the chicken. Then I cut even the any types of bread products. Okay, any types of alcohol. I cut because I was in a crisis, and then I went for a second opinion, and the second doctor said, "Oh, yeah, it looks like you have some brain lesions. It looks like MS. Yeah, I recommend that you go on that MS drug." I said, no, let me go for a third opinion. By this time, a few months went by. I remember I was doing home nurse treatment. I had to pause working for a few and went for a third opinion. They were unsure. They said, I don't know, but we see the brain lesions and we see it, but I'm not sure. So that's all I needed, that I'm not sure. So I said, let me just keep on doing what I'm doing. So I refused the MS drugs, and a year went by, and I was on a strict plant-based diet with herbal medicine, ingesting plants like nettle as a tea, up to 4 to 6 cups a day. And the final opinion, I went all the way to Johns Hopkins Medical.
I'm sorry, you said how much nettle a day?
I was drinking 4 to 6 cups to 8 cups a day of nettle tea a day.
Just nettle, no other combination, just plain nettle.
Just the nettle, just for my nutrition, because remember I had cut all the other, and it has so much high protein in nettle as well. That's how I was getting my protein. And at the same time, I was reducing inflammation. And the fourth final opinion was when I went to Johns Hopkins Medical in Maryland. And by this time I was a year plant-based, strict plant-based, okay? And my sister was in the room with me, so I'm glad I have a witness to tell this story. And I have other witnesses along the way, my journey. And the chief of the MS Center said, I don't know what you're doing. And this was a year to the day that I had refused all drug treatments. He said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because I can't recommend that you go on the MS drugs. So you always have a choice. Am I telling you not to take your drugs? I'm just telling you my story, to inspire you that you can do the same thing too, that you always have a choice, and the plants are here to help us. The plants are here to help you because they have a divine download from the Most High. Why would I take a drug when I could take a plant? To date, and this was over 10 years ago, I have, for years I had to go back every year to get checked. They couldn't see any lesions. They couldn't figure it out. I'm walking, I'm dancing, I'm driving, I'm doing everything, and I'm on no medication. And I have maintained my plant-based lifestyle. It's a lifestyle and it's a choice. So I'm saying this to inspire you that whatever the diagnosis is, it's definitely always not the prognosis. Yes, you can hear the diagnosis, but don't take it into your spiritual body, your emotional body, and take it in. Just hear, oh, that's the diagnosis, but that's not the final word. Let's see what the prognosis will be.
Wow. 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 It's amazing just to know how powerful herbs are, that they were able to help, I guess, reprogram your body, and you were able to come out on the other side of that.
Yes. Yeah, it's truly, and that's the power. And when we say going back and reclaiming this, we have to go back and reclaim what we have lost along the way in this society that we live in. Everything is fast, fast, fast. You want everything fast. And yes, as a plant-based eater, you must prepare. You have to prepare your food. Yes, you have to chop, but there's so many different tools now to chop faster, and choppers and all that stuff to prep. But a living food, when you eat living food, you have life. And herbal medicine is life. It's living food. Now, it doesn't work by itself, because if my mindset was not convicted, if my mindset was convicted, where I said, I knew there was, like, you ever, anybody ever had a grandmother that used to say, when you know what you know, what you know? That's the knowing that I'm talking about. That's the knowing that I'm talking about. That's the knowing that we want to fortify each other in community and say, hey, you always have a choice about what you think of the situation. And when you line up that thought process with everything else that you're doing that was not cooked up somewhere in a lab, of course you're going to succeed. And that's the message that I want to share with all of you.
That is just, wow, that's just so, oh, that's just so powerful. I'm looking to see if we, just a lot of likes. I'm just seeing a lot of likes here and a lot of appreciation for you sharing your information.
Give thanks.
And what is it that happens the first 7 days of each month?
Yes, yes, I offer what's called a Breathe for Balance series, and that's where we practice breath work. So many of us, and I'm talking about us in the diaspora, don't necessarily embrace yoga. It's kind of a new concept for many of us, and I want to reach so many people that may they heard of yoga, they heard of it, they're not sure what it is. And the breath is one thing that can help. Scientifically, it has been proven now to help not only reduce blood pressure, it helps to improve your lung capacity. So my Breathe for Balance series is offered the 1st through the 7th of every month. I just completed the 7-day series with some yogis, and it's done via Zoom. We meet at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm sorry for those on the West Coast. That's kind of early for you all. But yeah, the registration details, I will post them. I have to open up registration for the next month. It'll be open ASAP, so you can register for that. But that's offered every month, and it's offered via Zoom. So you're in the comfort of your home. And we do a series of breath flow exercises that will help strengthen the lungs, awaken the chakras. It will help awaken the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. It will also give you a deeper sense of calm to fortify you throughout your day. And I incorporate a herb while we're doing it. So for the 7 consecutive days, you must select a herb and work with that herb every day and drink that herb every day and see how you feel at the end of it.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for your contact information. Let me put it here. So your page is here on Instagram, and your website, and your YouTube, and your Facebook, and your email address. So thank you so much for sharing all of this wonderful information. I truly, truly appreciate you taking the time to be here this evening and share, because we definitely need to learn as much as we can about herbs.
Yeah. Yes, and thank you, Abina, for inviting me. It really has been my honor. I hope that I have shared something that will enlighten all of you. And I hope to see you all on the other side of health and healing. Continue on the journey.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, everyone, this has been Transformation Tuesday. I know we're normally here on Thursday, but we made a shift to have Transformation Tuesday. So, next week we will resume Transformation Thursday, and just some few ads. Remember March 25th in the Bronx. Her story, reclaiming our power and healing our women's history event, and you can find that information on my Instagram as well as my Facebook. And June 24th, the Bronx Yoga Summit. This will be the largest yoga event in the Bronx. So for yogis who have been practicing for years, to intermediate, to beginners, to those who don't know anything about yoga, everyone is welcome. More details would be posted, but please save the date for Saturday, June 24th, the Bronx Yoga Summit. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you next Thursday. And please remember to follow Miss Patricia Caines, Miss PaTea. Please follow her and reach out to her for more information on herbal healing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Give thanks.
I think you have to make me host again before.
Yeah, let me make sure I do that. Sorry about that. Wonderful. Thank you, Latino. Thank you, Uncle Chancellor.
Okay, I'm back again. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I truly appreciate this. This was wonderful.